Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Krisztina. Well, you haven't seen me for a while right now. I have done two collaborations, and one is with Ian. We are continuing with Krasi and Ian, and I having new guests soon with the Forever After Forest series, which is usually talking about indicators in astrology chart. So you are capable actually to learn astrology if you are new to astrology. Today, actually, I'm here with the Capricorn full moon, which is going to take place on July 10th. So it's gonna be tomorrow, and I know I'm late. But because of I'm working on the 2026 astrology forecast and I'm doing the whole entire financial series for each individual sign, and also I'm doing the whole entire series for all, rising sign, a general prediction, which is 120 pages. And I start to work on that every single time in January already, so I can do a Christmas in July. And I actually, Ian and me did the astrology calendar for 2026, but you can already purchase. It's $35 and it does say every single aspect. I didn't do the artwork because, as I told you guys, I have a Pisces sun and I'm very frustrated with AI. And it just, like it's never understands, Siri, your accent, and, it's always translated something crazy. Uh, that is with AI also somehow doesn't understand my prompts. And I do write very well and it still doesn't understand me. So I just told Ian, I was like, you are the software guy, and like, why don't we collaborate? And we did, and it came out beautiful. I love the artwork what he have done. Also, I would like to announce, for example, I started to work on the financial astrology software a long time ago, but I needed someone who is capable to actually put that in code and data, obviously. And I found out Ian is the one who is capable to do that. So hopefully by 2026, by this time, we are ready with the new software. And it is like an application software, just like Solar Fire and Sirius. It's gonna be like that, and like you can do the whole entire financial prediction for yourself. The thing is, I want to do composite charts for you and your financial, anything what I have IPO or ICO. I'm going to put the data in for you guys, and you're capable to compare if it is a good investment for you or not. All right, so this is promotion. Sorry about that. Usually I don't start with that because I'm Piscean, so I usually don't start with that, but it's all right. So today we're going to talk about the Capricorn moon. And also, I'm sorry about that, the background, guys, the children are home. I cannot record anywhere. Uh, George needs his office. Children are, doing guitars and drumming and art and whatever all over. So I have to use my room. But soon I'm going to find a solution to have something like a little den somewhere. I don't know, I'm gonna fabricate something. So you will be all surrounded with beautiful astrological instruments around me. And, like it will be set up like that. Okay, enough about that. And let's talk about actually the Capricorn one. If you're new to my channel, then I'm Cosmic Insight Astrology, and usually I say I'm your co-pilot because I don't want to ever take away your power. You are responsible for your decisions, all right? So this is also a disclaimer over here. This is actually, I'm always interpreting the planetary cycles aspect. And I always talk about mundane astrology, but right now I'm going to find a way not to necessarily talk about countries itself, because as I told you guys, I'm being constantly censored. I'm getting the emails, I'm not monetized. So it's not getting out for the public. My views went down a lot. And because I'm mentioning countries and politicians who who is, YouTube in censoring, and everything is censoring. So that's my issue over here. So I'm going to talk about still mundane astrology, and you're going to understand what am I talking about. But on the other hand, you also have to know I do love asteroids. I just love asteroids because I think it's giving an extra layer for the interpretation, especially if it is something to do with, mundane astrology and also personal. So I do always some personal astrology, a short PowerPoint, for each individual signs. And we're going to talk about Capricorn and what does it role, a little bit of mythology, a little bit of Sabian symbol. Today, we're not going to talk about a lot of asteroids because only three is involved over here and it's within 2 degrees orb. So that's why I use them. And also one fixed star. So the full moon actually in Capricorn going to take place at 18 degrees. And we're going to talking about the 18 degrees, that is the second decan, that is actually going to get Capricorn, that Taurian, no, yes, Taurian decan. So the second earth sign from Capricorn is Taurus. So it's going to have also a Venusian flavor in it. And also the fixed star, when we're going to talk about that Deneb also has a Venusian favor. So it's going to soften the Capricornian full moon. And the full moon always something to end a contract, to sign off something, to publish something, to release something, which was either released on a nice way or get rid of it for some kind of outside force. I always tell my client and my family it's better to initiate the change from it's within, because if you initiate the change within and not coming without, like from the outside, then it's not that forceful. So Capricorn ruled by Saturn, right? Capricorn rules the 10th house. 10th house, anything to do with career, like your public image, anything to do with government and structures. And Saturn at this moment is making a conjunction which is going to be exact actually with Neptune. Not exact by the degree, yes, but they have actually 17 minutes between, and in 2026 it's going to be exact, but right now it's still a conjunction on July 16th, okay? But it's already conjunct because it's within 1 degree, Saturn, Neptune, but Saturn, it's in fall in Aries. So actually it is weak and frustrated. Every single malefic planet, like also we have to talk a little bit about like malefic planet. All right, Saturn also structure, endurance, and courage as well, right? So not necessarily all bad about Saturn. It is your work ethic, it's hard work, but Saturn usually, and especially in Vedic astrology or Babylonian, it could be a little bit malefic over there. So the malefic side of Saturn is decay, delay. It's anything to do with censorship, right? And when a malefic planet or it's in fall, they are very frustrated. So actually, when they are frustrated, they are more evil. That's what you have to know about Saturn. And then this moment, it's going to conjunct with Neptune. Why I'm talking about this? Because the moon, the full moon is ruled by Saturn, right? And Saturn also rules 2 houses. Traditional ruler also for Aquarius, and the modern ruler is Uranus over there. So we are checking those houses. When we are talking about mundane astrology, you have to check where is actually the moon taking place. It's Capricorn. What's the archetype of the sea goat, and then what does it rule over there? So first of all, the Sabian symbol is a child of about 5 with a huge shopping bag, all right? So what does it mean over here? So actually, the child is also innocence, right? Something which is like not fully developed, but with a full responsibility because of it's actually carrying a shopping bag. So it's bearing some kind of responsibility. So maybe we are immature, or maybe we are not actually evolved all the way yet in some kind of cases, but we already are capable to carry all the responsibility. For example, imagine that with this Sabian symbol, you get you have to get into a leadership position. You were not actually ready yet. You don't have all the knowledge to take that, position, but you have to carry a lot of responsibility, what you're not grown up to yet. And it's a heavy burden, right? Because it's a big shopping bag over there. So it's heavy, but you are taking. And the shopping bag has a lot of goodies inside in it, right? Also food, what is nurturing you. So the responsibility what you got, the position what you got, actually, it's going to give you financial satisfaction and maybe even ice cream, which is some kind of bonus financially, or getting into limelight with this kind of Sabian symbol over here. So, it also some kind of self-sufficient person as well, because it's a child who is carrying something on its own and it's heavy. So you're going to become self-sufficient as well. So that's what you have to know about. And obviously, we were talking about the second decan. And Capricorn is an earth sign as well, so Earth is very, very grounded, right? And what we have to know the Capricorn full moon actually is going to make a sextile to North Node over here. I show the chart. By the way, do you like to see the chart or you don't like to see visuals? That's also, but a lot of people, me especially, I'm a lot better with visuals and talking. So I need to listen and also I need to see visuals. Maybe somebody doesn't ever want to see visuals over here. I just want to show that for you. The moon is in 18 degrees. It's going to sextile with North Node in Pisces. It's very, very important. The nodes are mathematical points of the moons, right? North Node is something what we are heading toward to. That is a new purpose in the collective. It's a collective shift with North Node moved over here last year, right? In January. Yes, actually this year, I'm sorry. Yes, 2025. Oh, because I was writing the 2026 horoscope and I'm already living in the future. Great, wonderful. Okay, so that is just like in this year. So the whole entire collective shift have changed over here, and everything is to become more compassionate, trying to become more compassionate. You can actually, I'm going to put the video below in the comment section when I was talking about the notes and the huge change, and just watch it over because there is a lot of information. But we're gonna talk about this. So, and also it's going to make a trine with the South Node in Virgo, and the South Node anything is to let go. South Node is Saturnian in flavor, and North Node is Jupiterian in flavor. So North Node is to heading towards some new purpose that is karmic, that is fated. South Node is letting something to go because of we already accomplished it, we already learned it, and it's a gift from the past you took. But you can rely on it, but you don't. You have to actually move forward to the Neptunian Pisces North Node. And why I'm saying that? Because of actually Virgo could be criticism, self-criticism, analyzing everything very, very deeply and pay attention to details, but not paying attention to the big pictures. And Pisces doesn't care about details. It is like I don't care about details many times. I figure out, I just see the huge pictures and I'm going toward, and something gonna unfold. That's what I believe in. But on the other hand, is Pisces is like, don't be actually judgmental, be compassionate, try to become, it's very hard to be compassionate. I mean, not hard to me, but, like not judgmental, because the world is so crazy. Of course, we're going to discriminate and judge in one way, right? So yes, but it's asking us to become compassionate. All right. And then what we also have to, talk about, because of the South Node, is want us to, because it's already a trine and it is something with mastery. You already mastered the South Node, right? The details over here. And it wants us to release something which is karmic, and it has to go, and it's something with Virgonian. And then it wants us actually to, move toward to Piscean energy. And actually, the South Node over here says you don't need to earn your worth by overthinking and overworking anymore, because of Virgo also rules the sixth house and everything with health, work, colleagues, that is also the union in the country, and also military as well. And right now, Mars is going through Virgo as well, and July 20th, Mars and South Node is going to conjunct. So that's gonna be another short video I'm going to make you guys as well, because that's very, very important, right? But so we have to understand the whole entire archetype, where the sun is still shining in Cancer. So it's still about family. Why? Because it's summertime. Summertime's usually, family is together, they have more time for each other. They visiting, like relatives, for example. So that is very, very important, right? And it also says, like you don't need all the details to fix the broken Saturn, right? The moon over here. If you let go of resentment or anger, for example, Mars is close by South Node, then you are capable to move toward North Node and just to become compassionate. But the full moon also, because North Node actually it's in water sign, and South Node is in familiar sister Earth sign over here. So they are trining together. But because we're talking about the South Node, that's not that um, beneficial than actually the sextile with the North Node, because the North Node is always to go for the future, and like and actually Pisces is going to soften the whole entire structure. It's water sign. Pisces does not have boundaries. It has amazing compassion, and why, for example, Virgo always went to service and perfection and analysis. Pisces is faith and surrender and healing, and actually healing through surrender and faith as well. So it is actually leading us to believe without seeing the result yet. Like that is very, very mystical, and it's very hard sometimes to believe without seeing the result. Like, but that's what faith. That's how faith works, right? So then we also have the Capricorn archetype, but we need to talk about. And I always talk a little bit about mythology. We were talking about Saturn already, which is ruler of this moon, but we also have to talk about the sea goat, which is the symbol of Capricorn, which is half fish, right? And half is goat. And actually, it's Pan, the wild god of nature, jumped in the Nile, the river of Nile, actually, and escaped typhoon. And the way he could only escape typhoon, his limbs on the legs actually became like some fishy mermaid kind of like limbs, and that's the way he could actually escape typhoon. So the sea goat has an ability for survival, right? That's what it says. And itself, the top of the goat is ambition. That is actually the goat over there. And the fish symbol is the wisdom. It's ancient wisdom, right? Because of the ocean is majestic. That is the 70% of Earth is actually water, right? And there is a lot of Neptunian, a lot of ancient wisdom over here. Remembering actually the depths. Where we are coming from. But also the goat is representing, the goat can go on anywhere and climb anywhere. So climbing even the heights and the ceilings and standing on those tiny rocks, and we don't understand how the goats are capable to do that, but they are. So coming from depth and going to heights, right? That's what it is. That's what the symbol actually of Pan, the sea goat, the Saturnian energy over here. And then, if you want to know about the Saturnian archetype and the keywords over here and what does it mean, what is Saturn representing actually, Saturn is actually boundaries, and also Saturn could be invisible burden as well, and maturity as well, because Saturn is old ages, right? And Also, Saturn is the Lord of karma and karmic accountability. It's representing that as well. It's also representing, like responsibility, sacred duty, sacred authority over here as well, and emotional, actually, maturity as well. Legacy, anything to do with legacy through career, legacy through work, hard work, diligence, actually, work ethic, very, very strong work ethic as well. Um, all right, and old ages. And Saturn is Chronos, the time, history, the watch, the watchmakers as a craftsmanship as well. So because of Saturn wants us to take responsibility, no matter if we are matured actually for the, like the job, the career, but take responsibility, and then we're going to become matured through, the process. All right, and the other thing I wanted to talk about, there is only three asteroids and one fixed star we need to talk about, and one asteroid is going to be Hera. Hera actually is in 20 degrees Cancer, and actually it's the moon is opposing because Hera is conjunct actually the sun over here, and Hera is actually the goddess of marriage, the queen of Olympus, and she is the sacred contract between people. But Hera, if it's badly positioned, and it's opposing the moon right now, and the moon is your subconscious, your fears, your tears, your emotions. So it could also become, betrayer or very, very jealous. And for example, staying too long in loyalty position, and it's going to become poisoned or rotten. So that could Hera become over here. So it's a painful tension right now between the moon and the sun, definitely. And and it could be some kind of emotional struggles and power struggles between marriages. You will see like a lot of people, relationship could fall apart during this time. And Saturn is authority, maybe because of one partner is want to be an authorian figure to the other and taking all the financial abuse in the relationship or things like that. And then we also have to talk about Nessus. Guys, Nessus is actually conjunct right now, North Node in Pisces, and actually Nessus is in 18 degrees, 19 degrees Pisces. And if you know about Nessus, Nessus is very dark, mythic figure, and it rules abuse and betrayal and abuse cycles and karmic betrayers also. And actually, it is promises which never been actually being accountable for. So, for example, he offered help, then violated the boundaries, right? So, in modern astrology, the wound around abuse and power and legacy of trauma and the ancestral burden of manipulation and victimization. Look around what we are dealing with. Look in America, look in France, look in anywhere, Bulgaria, Hungary, like just look around the world. There is so many power hungry people who is promising. That's we call it demagogue politic actually, and it's insane. But that's why we are awakened, and that's why we are not going to. We're gonna keep talking, and we're not going to be shut up anymore, right? Because we don't want that manipulation. We cannot take that manipulation, right? And the North Node is something to do with spiritual maturity. Obviously, it's a new purpose through compassion. And, like if you check Pisces and what the archetype of Pisces, Pisces rules actually, it rules the oil, it rules your subconscious, it rules art, filmography, photography, it rules the orphans, the jailed, the hospice, the hospitals, the hotels. Um, and and Venus is exalted here, so it's also rules insulin medication as well, right? Big pharma, for example, addiction, drugs, and alcohol as well. So you just have to know the archetype before you're going to start to brainstorm how to interpret for mundane and in personal astrology as well. But that's what it is, and Nessus is over here, which is manipulation and victimization and karmic burdens and karmic abuse as well, right? Uh, so this is the dynamic over here, and it's a sextile. Sextile always in Venetian, so sextile with the moon, but letting go of something which is karmic abuse. We are letting go of karmic abuse. We say enough is enough. It's end with us. And then we're going to get in and step into that compassion that is North Node offers actually with that Jupiterian flavor and optimism in Pisces for us here. So this is, it's not just about actually dreaming. It's actually confronting your shadow, your ghost, very, very important. And then the South Node. And this, we're going to talk about the South Node because the South Node is actually going to conjunct with Orcus. Orcus is around 15 minutes, 15 degree 47 minutes in Virgo. So it's conjunct with that 18 degrees South Node over there. And Orcus is freezes and remembers. Orcus is called justice, right? I love Orcus. I always actually, well, it's a very weird, like when I watch TV, I always analyze the characters, what they play in the movie, and then I check their real signs, right? For example, Grace and Frankie. Obviously, Grace is a Capricorn Leo something, and Frankie is very, very Piscean, and I don't even know Pisces and Taurus because of food, love of food, and earthy. Pisces and Taurus kind of character over here, but Orcus is Dexter. Why? Because of actually it's killing the serial killers. It's killing the abusers. So Orcus is actually freezes and remembers and does some kind of cold justification over there, And because of Virgo, South Node is very karmic, letting go. South Node is Saturnian favor, and the Saturnian moon itself, it's sextile with it and sextile with Orcus as well. There will be some kind of letting go of karmically of leader Saturn, right? Leader Saturn is actually in fall and soon it's in retrograde, but I'm telling you that it's going to be people who are going to get imprisoned because of war crimes or that it's going to be called justice of people who are authority figures. At this moment, it seems like it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work out the day when the full moon is coming, guys. It's always lunation, new moon to full moon to new moon. Usually it's 6 months, but many times, often it's going 8 months. Period when it's going to unfold or until unfold. So wait until the next Capricorn moon next year. During this year, we're going to see a lot of them to get jailed or get the justice what they deserve. Yes, so Orcus is definitely obsessed, and Orcus is also some kind of rage and punishes betrayers, right? And very, very rageful, but the revenge and the avenge is coming some kind of cold and calm justification. So it does not act like Martian flavor. It's not bold and impulsive. It's like very calculated and wait for the right time. Wait until everything is in the place and there is like choking the person and like let it go. For example, obviously, I was very upset with the Didi trial. I always said Didi going to go to prison, and most likely it could get at 20 years prison, not more. Unfortunately, 20 years is the maximum for Didi right now. And I don't think so. It's going to be probably, because of the money, because of the influence, he would get out within 5 years. But wait, guys, within 5 years, everything is changing, right? And there could be more evidence for something or a new trial coming up. It's not necessarily this same trial, but something else. Just like with O.J. Simpson, they didn't, and obviously he killed his wife, but something else. I don't know, tax fraud or something crazy. He went for 20 years in, but prison is not. It's cruel for the ones who actually the link between the elite oligarchy who are actually sex trafficking children. So obviously there could be an other uh, Epstein suicide kind of situation for Didi as well, right? So he's going without bail and wait because of, it's not necessarily going to let him out alive. So that's what I'm saying. So he might be unalive. All right. And because he has a lot of scorpionic energy and 12 house right now, Jupiter in 12, I believe. So, it could be something with, no, not Jupiter in 12, because that in fourth house actually. So it could be something to do with, they going to actually kill him somehow. Okay, but I just lost my, Deneb, let's talk about Deneb. So we do have a fixed star over here, and we actually call that Deneb. And this is the Deneb is the mystic. Deneb actually is the Cygnus. It's the swan in the heaven, right? And it is, there is like Ptolemy and multiple ancient and traditional astrologer who actually had some kind of archetype for Deneb, and some of them said actually it's Venus Mercury, the other one said it's Mars Jupiter or Venus Jupiter, Venus Neptune in flavor, but definitely something to do with the heavy mystic, the poetic edge, and the artist over here, right? The swan, the tail of the swan actually Deneb is, right? And it is the swan is the soul that flies between the worlds, and in myth Zeus transformed into a swan to seduce Leda, which gave birth to divine and mortal children for him, right? And it was including Helen of Troy as well. All right, so this star is absolutely not ordinary, right? It is some kind of little tiny artsy Venetian twinkle over here, anything to do with glamour and magnetism, but it has to come through some kind of otherworldly beauty, like there could be also sacrifice and spiritual evolution, actually, and spiritual elevation also in this fixed star as well, but martyrhood as well. So if you check this archetype and the astrological meaning actually for Deneb, it could be heighten some kind of psychic ability, psychic gift, anything to do with creative brilliance, music, dance, poetry, film. So we're going to actually see right now more documentary, but it's going to be about music or dance or poetry. The filmography going to be really Renaissance-like, right? It's charismatic, right? It's really, and maybe we're going to see a new ballet type, or it's going to be mixed with jazz or hip hop and ballet together, but very, very artsy. And it's a new art form could coming, but it can actually mix the two together. Um, and then, yes, so that's the archetype of that. But, because of that Ptolemy and Vivian Robson, who said actually it is Mars and Jupiter in nature, that could be someone, a rise, a star of, for example, a military martial person who is a leader over there, and it's going to either get a Nobel Prize or something like that. But also it could be Venus and Neptune, and that is very, very hypnotic. That is definitely detached from material. So we will see that kind of detachment right now with the Neb as well. Why Saturn wants us to be like grounded, but Saturn is very weak and it's not gonna allow us. And over here, I have to tell you what I'm doing lately. And, I know it's escapism. I'm a Pisces. And obviously, I have Jupiter in rulership. I can escape. And it's not through drugs or alcohol for me. It is imagination. And sometimes, if I'm, for example, teaching my family, to put everything, and I love clean houses. I'm obsessed with clean house. And obviously they are artsy and cooking and whatever, and it makes me annoyed sometimes. But then I just create a corner, a sanctuary for myself. And usually it's in my bathroom because nobody comes there. And, I have my little altar. It's huge, the bathroom. So I can escape over there and I just watch my little corner, that little tiny piece in my home, which is perfect. And then I listen meditation or music or dance or, like doing some sit up or whatever it is. But I'm safe over there. And this, I know it is escapism. I know I'm living in La La Land many times. For example, I can watch and just stare the TV with my little rabbits on it and reading, in a tree house because I feel safe when I'm just, staring at that picture. But you have to create something like that for yourself. And actually, Deneb is like that. It could be escapism. It doesn't have to be escaping in alcohol or drugs or something. Just create a sanctuary, something which is peaceful for you. So that's going to be very, very important. But we will see, like new filmography and new directors and new composers coming out, and they're going to be amazing, right? So that is the energy of, but for example, Deneb also have some kind of shadow side as well, and escapism. If I said if it's going to go to drug or alcohol, or for example, you can escape in VR, virtual reality. It's not necessarily great because it also could bring in some kind of identity crisis as well. Like you are not your own voice, you are actually copying someone or pretending to be someone. So it could be that as well. All right, let's talk about mundane astrology right now because we always talk about, mundane as well. And the moon actually can break the old path because that's Capricornian and old structure. It definitely can break the old path. And also it could mourn the betrayer as well, right? Because it is sextiling with Nessus and trine with Orcus. So there is some kind of betrayer over there. And also, like you can refuse martyrdom as well because you will say, I don't need your love to approve myself. I love you, but I don't need that. So I'm not codependent over here. So it could be really, really great because right now you put boundaries and you claim your power. That's why I always say, I'm your co-pilot, guys. And, you are owning your power over here. And, there is a lot of geopolitical issues over here. For example, because the sun still in Cancer, right? And we also have Hera over there. We were talking about the asteroid over there. We can actually see some kind of real estate regulation on the market or agricultural, more likely because of, Saturn rules agriculture and it rules the undeveloped land as well, and something to do with mountains, something to do with old historical buildings, for example. And there could be some kind of regulation with that, which is like, all right, it is this, if you have a cemetery in this area, you don't have to pay tax, like just like Trump did with the golf course, he put actually the first wife on buried her over there. And what I heard from my client, they taking care of their golf course. That is like full of weed and it's not taken care of. I don't even understand how like his children doesn't go there and put some flowers or whatever. But all right, whatever it is, yeah. Uh, so actually, I get the picture and I saw it, but I have to say, like it could be some kind of regulation. I just always coming up with some kind of extra example over here. And because Virgo is also union, it rules private hospitals, union, like the work etiquette itself and military as well. it could be some kind of, military government agency going to get exposed because of the we're mishandling veteran cares. We already had that in US, in Las Vegas, but more could come up and around the world. I'm not only talking about America when I'm doing my predictions for you guys. The world is huge. It's not everything America. And there is also, anything to do with health or agriculture minister. For example, right now I'm talking about Canada because, there could be something to do with, what is poisoning or health, because sixth house also health and South Node is over there. But because of the moon ruled by Saturn, Saturn is agriculture, like we're not going to use Roundup anymore or something to do like genetically modified corns or something like that. So there is a regulation over here as well. And because of Pisces is mental health as well, and hospice and prisons, and orphanages and jails itself. So there could be some kind of like, all right, there is a leakage from orphanage. Maybe they sex traffic orphans or from hospitals. And there is so much psycho out there. Oh my God, that is just like, like people have necrophilia and they are going into to raping corpse and or in hospitals, comatic people. It's not just Kill Bill if you have seen the movie, but it's happening. Unfortunately, it's based on reality, right? So there could be some kind of leakage from GS and the way they are actually torturing people over there. It could be even from the Middle East right now, who are they taking, torturing hostages, and it could actually create some kind of mental breakdown for people who are watching that part. And that footage. So it could be that. Or it could be, Epstein fire disappeared, but, it will come back. I believe it will come back at one point, I believe there is not only one, there is copies of those fires, guys, somewhere. So anyway, somehow it's going to come out. But also we also have to talk about the weather pattern as well, because Saturn is creating drought, right? Because it's dry. Neptune is the ocean. Saturn also create, because they are in areas right now, it also can create something, and they conjunct, so the ruler of the moon, that's why we are talking about it, some kind of drought. And if it's drought, if there is rain, that it's flash flood, just like what's happened, the catastrophe in Texas and Dubai before a year ago. Well, they say it's actually weather manipulation. Of course, they can do that. I mean, come on, science is amazing, and I was watching actually about weather manipulation, a documentary. You can check that on YouTube, just weather manipulation documentary, type it in, and how they creating with the particles, the clouds, and they sent it in Dubai, or they sent it actually in like areas where are like deserts, and then it's going to start to grow something over there. So they are capable to do that. Uh, but yes, so that could be, or Saturn is anything also to do with infrastructure. Mercury is road, but Saturn is infrastructure. So Saturn Neptune together is mudslides, or it is like sinkholes, for example. So we're going to see a lot of slides and mudslides and sinkholes in overbuilt real estate zone, for example. People are getting closer to the ocean, to forbidden zones. They don't care. They think, they guts, and nature is not going to, nature always wins. It is just like when you are gamble, the house always wins, nature always wins, guys. So that's for sure over there. So actually, nature going to humble architecture and the people. And that's what's going to happen also, I believe, in Middle East, because of there is so much evil. and around the world itself. Then if nature comes in and then it's a natural disaster going on, then people have to stand together, right? Because everyone will be affected on that area. So, Uranus going to Gemini, I told you guys there are gonna be a lot of tornado and earthquake and right now with Saturn and Neptune, which Saturn rules this moon, obviously there is floods and droughts, and because of droughts there is flash floods as well. And also, so anything to do with, for example, some kind of scandal actually with salt water issues as well. You can see like maybe they poison the ocean in some around countries, and it's going to be some kind of harmful pollution, and dolphins and marine animals dies, and then they have to pay for it. If you remember, 2010, that's when I traveled a huge around the world. Yes. No. Yes, 10. Martin was a year old. Okay. That's when we had the oil from the BP oil leaked in. Actually, they were drilling in the Gulf of Mexico, and the oil actually spilled, and it could be something like that with this. So, some kind of poison. But also, Saturn also rules bitterness and coffee, right? Coffee plantation. So we can see some kind of issues maybe with coffee crops, anything to do with Brazil, Latin America, Africa, which is going to affect the global supplies. Okay, maybe some kind of fungus because the moon is wet, it could become some kind of fungus energy over there. And because it's sextile with North Node, just follow me because my brain is like could be crazy. But because of its sextile with North Node, and North Node is in Pisces, obviously there will be some kind of addiction trends or some kind of big pharma kind of regulation. It could be some kind of pricing with pharmaceutical because Saturn can put a cease on it even if it's weak. So what could it be? For example, anything to do with sleep disorders, hypnosis, sleep disorders, something to do with apnea, for example. They might going to have a new, more effective apnea device which is going to wake up people. By the way, I do have, because I have apnea, and a few of my people died in apnea very young. Friend, actually. And I have this device on my hand at night, which is like if I don't take a breath for 25 seconds, it starts to vibrate. And for the vibration, like I'm in a state like, okay, I feel the vibration, I wake up, and you can find that on Amazon. And you always have to recharge it, make sure it's always fully recharged and doesn't stop middle of the night. It's uncomfortable at the beginning, but it's rubber around. And later on, and actually it shows the sleep pattern for you, and it's connected with my phone so I can see what's going on over there. But maybe even more comfortable devices coming up which could wake you up at night. So definitely sleep apnea and sleep disorders going to be in center as well, and anything to do with regulation of pharmaceutical prices, and especially something to do with antidepressant and insulin. Why? Because of actually Venus, which is diabetes, exalted in Pisces, and North Node, it's sextile actually with the moon. So obviously there is something to do with weight loss medicine or diabetes medicine, some kind of regulation. Maybe people are not coming and just can, like sign up for this weight loss GLP-1 insulin intolerance medicine because it's creating pancreas cancer and thyroid cancer. And, right now it's going to be a stronger regulation, just like in Sweden. Swedish people are not allowed to use that. They sold it for Americans. American can have it. But on also insulin prices could be like settled and not raised, right? All right. And antidepressant because of, Saturn could be depression also and melancholy. And because it's rules the moon, mood stays your emotion, and it's sextile with North Node in Pisces, which is also pharmaceutical. It could be antidepressant as well. All right. Anything to do with gut-brain researches, right? Because of it's also representing, like the moon in Capricorn, it's also actually detriment, and it could be also the some kind of stomach issues. So the gut, actually, the microbe in the gut, and how it affects your emotions. So that could be researches also, which could be a breakthrough over here with your digestion. And okay, you know what? We are healing actually neurological issues with new probiotics. Why not? It could be that. All right. And, there will be definitely a lot of issues around like how burnouts on nurses. And they barely, or they don't have actually the right machines or medicines to serve the people in affected areas. It could be affected by uh, global migration because of, it could be natural disaster related refugees, or war related, because Neptune Saturn, guys, is war. I told you last year, a lot of people get mad at me. I told you what's going to happen. It's a war. It's already started a long time ago, but it's a war. And especially if you check my Uranus, well, I'm gonna do a new Uranus in Gemini video, because there is a lot we can talk about, but I can also give you my old ones, and Saturn, Neptune also, when I was talking about that, there is unfortunately something is brewing, and we all see that. Rehab centers. Saturn is very weak and old people, and Saturn is in fall. It's like taking away funds from rehabilitation centers, or taking away from funds from around the world. They don't have money for the retirement money going to be actually either taxed or in danger. Uh, or we're not going to have nursing homes because of, there is no money unless it's going to be private, and only the rich can pay it for their parents. All right. And then if we are also going to do something to do with finances, because we also have to check the synodic cycles, right? The cycles are very important in astrology when you are checking markets and that, or any kind of geopolitical events, and also personal level as well, And there is actually, because the moon is, it's in Capricorn, so it's in detriment, and Saturn, the ruler, it's in fall. There could be some kind of scam exposure, for example, on the market, anything to do with market manipulation again. And it could be some kind of regulation because of the sun is in Cancer. Obviously, there could be something around real estate. And I know you're going to see the real estate market actually to see somehow, or the luxury markets, at high-end luxury markets, anything to do with Switzerland, Dubai, Hong Kong, uh, going to show some kind of silent cooling right now. It's cooling down, but definitely in offshores like Florida, and there is going to be a lot more flooding right now, Louisiana, Texas, things like that, and anywhere also close to Italy or whatever offshores. There will be more flooding, and then it's going to affect the real estate market as well. And inflation, obviously, with toward to food and pharma as well, the market of the food and pharma as well. As I said, drought and flood together, it's going to kill the crops, right? The crops, and the crops is like, okay, then we're not gonna have food, famine in some way. Or if it's tariff on Chinese product or tariffs on Italian product, because Trump talking again about tariffs, then you are not going to be, if you are a family of four, and you are just a middle, you are not very rich, then you will have to choose what you buy. So obvious that could be that. All right. And Also, I wanted to tell you, America's dollar has Saturn return. And right now I was watching, obviously, my TV, which is, I'm choosing my news. And then I saw the BRICS nation became actually 20 nations right now. And Vietnam is also in, South Africa, Brazil, Iran, like there India there and Saudi Arabia, which I was like very surprised, but it is BRIC nation, and they're creating their own uh, currency, guys. The own currency going to like take like America not gonna be on its knee, it's going to be on its, I don't know, back because of whenever in the 1800s, I told you guys, when we had Korea, Iran, India, and no, China and Russia together, America lost, and this is right now. And especially America has Uranus return, and next year, because I did already the 2026 horoscope, right? We're going to have it actually in July 4th, America's birth, right? We're gonna have Uranus-Mars conjunction in Gemini on natal Uranus as America. That is like chaos and civil war and everything. But the civil war already gonna start very, very soon. All right, guys. And do you remember when I said they're going to claim? I said it a year ago on Lada's channel. I said they're gonna claim Trump being assassinated by Iranians, and then I got a lot of backlash. People were yelling at me, "How do you dare to say that?" And I didn't say they will. Iranian will be the one who want to assassinate, but that's gonna be a subject that's gonna be in a title in the media, and look what happened a year later. So my psychic ability is like off the limit. And look back the all the everything what I was saying also on Sama's channel. If Trump's win, and he has a tendency to win, and also I said Kennedy gonna be in somehow. Uh, it is going to be like crazy, crazy, crazy destruction. And look what's happening. Okay. Anyway, enough about them. And let's talk about each individual signs right now. Okay. Let me get my little things out here, and I'm gonna go to Aries rising sun and moon. Obviously, the Capricorn full moon going to happen in your 10th house, and then you're going to have 6th house Virgo, the South Node, and 12th house, the North Node over there. So, like when you interpret, you have to know you are watching that for your rising sign, that's everything about you. If you're watching that for your moon sign, it is your emotion, subconscious, mother, real estate, family. And if you're watching that for your sun sign, that's your career, that's your vitality, your father figure, the way you are making money, because sun also could represent that. Okay. So Aries rising, everything going to happen 10, 6, and 12 house for you over here. And 10th house is public image, responsibility, and anything to do with your status and legacy as well. So you're gonna have a lot of weight on your shoulder. It might going to end a career for you, You are taking on to a lot of responsibility. Remember the Sabian symbol, the child who is carrying a huge shopping bag, You might going to go to a new position. You are ending an old career and there is a new position coming up. But mentally, it could be like a little bit of distraction, and you are overloaded and you are like, oh my God, am I up to this position? It feels very, very heavy for me, and it's affecting my head. But also the sun node in the 6th house, it is like, okay, you know what? Because you get this new position, a lot of responsibility, you have to let go of old kind of habits, because 6th house is habits as well. And also it could be like you are going to be able to, you can come in, just go, but I'm talking here. Thank you. Uh, so the 6th house also habits and health and pets as well. So you might have to let go of a pet, And 12th house, it's also there is Nessus with North Node. Maybe you have to put down a pet, or hospice, or it could be like you might going to have some kind of issue at work where you are hurt yourself at work and you're going to sue your company to pay some kind of insurance money out, because 12 house, 6 houses, private insurance also could be involved over here. But obviously there is a new responsibility, right? And the old habit has to go. Or you might going to choose a new doctor because of it is a functional doctor, because you don't want to all to go to Western. It feels like it's failed you and you need to do something new over here. Okay. Taurus rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your ninth house, and then fifth house is your south node in Virgo, and then it is 11th house is north node for you, which is, ninth house, anything to do with publication, anything to do with foreign legal matters, visa and citizenship and passport. And it's also representing higher education. It's also your older siblings, long distance traveling as well, YouTube channel as well. So you might want to let go of the way you actually relate to your YouTube channel, for example, right? It's not serving you anymore. You maybe published a book and your work is done over here. But you could be supported, for example, by friends or a VIP person, someone who wanted you to succeed, because North Node is in the 11th house. However, Nessus is here as well. Careful, because somebody is very evil and betrayal. We were talking about Nessus, and for you guys over here, it's represent like Nessus could be someone who pretend wants to help, and when you are helped, there is a major payback over there. Okay, I helped you. Do you think I helped you for free? You have to do this for me. So be careful with integrity over here. And fifth house, anything to do with children. And, maybe your children going actually to college or university, and you're going to have an empty nest. So, it could be like you're going to feel the emotions, crying, because, you're going to be far away from your children here. Uh, or they're gonna married abroad. It could represent that as well. All right. Then we're going to have to go to Gemini rising, sun and moon over here. And Gemini rising, you're going to have the Capricorn full moon in your eighth house. Eighth house, anything to do with taboo, sex, debt, tax, abortion, miscarriage, detective work, anything to do with your stock investment, anything to do with prenup, anything to do with also sexual trauma and occultism and cult as well. And then fourth house is South Node, and then ninth house is, let me see, 10th house is North Node. All right. So yes, definitely career is changing over here, and you might going to actually get a significant raise over here in your career. It's a new purpose is rising. And North Node, you might going to have to actually let go of some kind of inheritance, or like maybe there was some kind of procedure, legal procedure, and it's gone, it's done, and finally you're getting your inheritance. You're getting there was a medical malpractice, and maybe you are getting the insurance going to pay you money, or some kind of big tax refund as well could come in. If you hire the detective because somebody stolen your identity or stolen anything from you, it could help you right now. It is like, all right, this aspect actually, let's read of Orcus is there. Orcus is in Virgo, and it is like, I want cold justice. Cold justice is coming in for you financially here. You can get a mortgage actually, and you letting go of some kind of old living situation, and you are creating something new. Or, letting go of, maybe you paid off your mortgage, guys. Cancer rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your seventh house. Seventh house is mirror. It's your mirror, it's your familiar. Something to do with your relationship, one-on-one relationship, friendship, and also your significant other, your engagement, or anything to do with wedding. Maybe you finished your wedding and you're done and you can relax right now. Maybe you want to get rid of your marriage right now because it doesn't serve you anymore. You are tired of the marriage, or the way you are connecting, it's not working anymore. Um, and then Pisces, North Node is being actually in your ninth house and the South Node in your third house. There could be some kind of scheduling issue with traveling or issues between siblings, like younger and older siblings, or something to do with legal issues, foreign legal issues. You might want to actually change the neighborhood because of the neighbors, not actually the ones who you want to connect with. Orcus is there, like you find out there is maybe someone who is a sex predator around the neighborhood, and like you want to move from that. But yeah, there could be something to do also with schooling, and it could be like your significant other is going to help you with your study and pay for it. So it could be some kind of support, or one of your friends want to pay off your debts for the school because they can afford it. It could be as well. Yeah, or you can meet actually your second significant other and get married, but it could be a second husband, second wife, and you could get introduced either in a foreign trip or something from a neighborhood event. The rising sun and moon, it's going to happen actually in your sixth house, Capricorn. That's health, wealth, pet, anything to do with rental properties, colleagues, anything to do with gym membership, yoga studios, things like that. Soulmates as well. Second house is your money house because Virgo South Node is your second house and North Node in Pisces in your eighth house. Don't forget Nessus and Orcus over here, right? And the sun is in your 12th house. It's hidden in your 12th house. There could be some kind of psychosomatic issues, some kind of insomnia. My son is Leo rising and he cannot sleep lately, Martin. I don't know. He has a lot of anxiety. He fears about wars. He fears about if he gets into John Hopkins for neurosurgeon. So he's just crazy and he doesn't sleep. So I have to comfort him every night and talk to him and give his magnesium bath and, like anything holistic I can think of. And Capricorn in the sixth house is colleagues over there. And, in this case, some of you who is in school, it could be classmates as well, roommates, whatever. You might going to say goodbye to a roommate, a classmate, they're gonna move away, things like that. But there is an opportunity also to become, like very passionate about something, and you're going to get the money, the foundation to create something, perhaps a non-profit. Saturn also non-profit, and sixth house could create like, all right, I get crowdfund to create a non-profit. Eighth house is crowdfund. People want to actually crowdfund me to do that. Yes, and definitely sixth house, you can buy a real estate that it could be a rental property and you rent it out and you have income from that. Virgo rising sun and moon, it's South Node is in your first house, North Node in the seventh house, Capricorn in your fifth house of real estate, the fifth house, which is children, creativity, anything to do with lovers as well. You might going to get rid of a lover, not get rid of, but let go of a lover. Maybe you are married and you were actually, committing infidelity, unfortunately, and you are like, okay, you know what, I want to save my marriage because North Node in the seventh house, I want to work on it. And South Node, I have to let go of some kind of guilt or insecurity. South Node, something, in the first house, anger, resentment toward to someone, and then I can create something beautiful for myself. But it could be also like you need some kind of let go of some kind of false, you know, uh, image of your child. You wanted them to become attorneys, and they want to be a construction worker, and you just have to let it go and support them. It could also be like, all right, it's a moon, it's something to do with sexuality, with your significant other. North Node is over there. Uh, and Nessus, you might going to find out some kind of betrayal, and you could be very, very upset about that. If you are not having relationship, Virgo rising, and if you start to date, careful, because there is Orcus and there is Nessus, and not necessarily showing their true self. So for example, I'm not saying you're going to date with a Dexter over here and you don't know about that, but like make sure the people who you date with have integrity. Libra rising sun and moon. It's going to actually happen in your fourth house of the moon gonna be full in your fourth house of real estate, family matter, history, land, anything to do with living situation. So you might going to sell a house, you might going to move. Full moon also because fourth house anything to do with endings and funeral as well, and because it's a Capricorn, and older and elder in your family might going to do their transitions as well. And the South Node is in your 12th house, this karmic, it's hospitals, hospice. You might going to say goodbye to someone. You might be able to be there for a grandmother or a mother figure, father figure, holding their hands in hospice, or become their dead doula. And it's going to be sad somehow, but it's a beautiful transition also. And you're going to be very, very, it's a sacred duty. You will feel it. And you will be very happy about that, to be able to be there, because a lot of people are not. North Node is in the sixth house, so it could be like you creating actually or buying multiple rental properties to rent it out. It could be also like you bringing home work and you're going to create an office in your home because you don't want to commute anymore. North Node is in the sixth house, also health as well, and fourth house. So there could be some kind of traditional medicine or holistic medicine you're going to go for right now, and actually choosing over Western medicine. But it could be also there could be something coming up with your something what was hidden with family history, which could be genetic, and you're finding out, and actually you can face it right now. Okay. Where have I been? I don't know. All right. So was I at, yes, I was at Libra, right? Capricorn. Yes, I was at Libra. So I'm going to Scorpio right now. All right, Scorpio rising sun and moon. Capricorn is your third house. Third house, anything to do with the roads, your community, your workshops, anything to do with communication, schooling, but it's great schools, and and anything to do with your neighborhood and siblings, your niece, nephews, and aunt and uncles. And it could be some of you going to lose an aunt or uncle who are older over here. And then it is like North Node is in your fifth house. It could be also like, all right, my child needs to find a community and I have to support my child. It could be a league, like a sport league or some art therapy, because Pisces is art, but fifth house is anything to do with sport league as well. Or I'm gonna find an agent, a manager for my child, for example, or for my own creative project. Maybe I have a creative project, right? And then I need a manager because I can't handle, I can't get jobs because the artist, what is that? The starving artists, they are not capable to get their jobs because they're not thinking about money, right? And then that's why you need to hire someone. And so not in your 11th house, you will have to let go of people, communities, what doesn't serve you, drain your energies, gossiping. Orcus is over there. Orcus actually going to be cleaning out the one who tried to betray you. So this is actually good for you. And some good news could come in with your child, very good news, or something about love life and romance as well. Sagittarius rising sun and moon. I'm myself a Sagittarius rising as well. So the North Node is in our fourth house. South Node is actually in career and in anything to do with status. And because Orcus is over there, it's going to remove someone from your career who betrayed you. Or maybe you didn't know about that. With cold, it's waiting for to be actually the betrayer to be shown for you. And it's right now you're going to be able to, okay, I'm not working with you, I'm done over here. North Node in the fourth house, it's going to change the living situation. Capricorn, if you have anything in Capricorn, for example, which is conjunct with this moon over here, for example, I have Mars exalted conjuncted with this moon. Capricorn second house is your income, right? And it could be like, all right, there will be some kind of, you can pay off debts, you can have a side hustle, for example, a side gig, which eventually gonna work out and it's going to pay your bills. But it could also end some kind of check by check living, and it could bring in some kind of Cancerian energy from your eighth house, because the sun is shining in Cancer over here. Hera is over there, which is marriage or contract. It doesn't have to be contract by marriage, but some kind of new contract. And don't forget, Jupiter is an exaltation. Jupiter is not seen yet, it's still hidden, and whenever it's going to be visible, it's going to have more power, especially in exaltation. But maybe you win the lottery, maybe you're going to get an inheritance or something, a big tax refund, or the tax relief, something like that, which is going to help you financially, and you can buy your dream house, for example, in an island, in ocean, nearby ocean, water, body of water. But obviously, it could become something to do with inheritance. So some of you might going to lose an authority figure, which is bringing inheritance in as well. But also that could be some kind of, you have the money to renovate your house, right? You get the money to renovate your house. All right, Capricorn, rising sun and moon. It is, the moon is in your first house. Everything is about you. Everything is changing around you. You sign off contracts, you finish a book publishing, you buying a home, you moving. Anything is possible right now, and you ending something what doesn't serve you anymore. You are peeling the onions. You don't need to pretend anymore, for example. So the mask is coming off with the full moon over here, and North Node is in the third house, so something new is coming with your community, something with your neighborhood. It could be somebody who is rich or well-known, because Pisces is celebrity as well, moving to your neighborhood, which is going to increase the value of your home, for example. South Node is in the ninth house, so you're going to prefer right now short distance traveling over long distance traveling or long trips, for sure. And I definitely feel like you're going to invest in your community and in your neighborhood as well. You might going to invest in yourself through workshops or studying. You may be finishing a diploma, which is actually a university degree or something like that. But after that, you're going to get licensed. Third house is licensing and contracts as well. Aquarius, rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 12th house, which is your subconscious, hospice, hospitals, hidden, it's your ethic, it's your hidden enemies as well. The hidden enemy is going to get revolved, and you're going to be able to face the hidden enemies, and then you're going to able to solve the problem. You might going to find something in your ethic which is very valuable. It could be a piece of art, right? Because Pisces could be art in the second house. 12th house is ethic, and 8th house is very valuable. Or something, an inheritance. You get an inheritance, and you thought, that jewelry you get from grandma, it's nothing, but you find out that it's so rare and so antique, and it's worth $1 million. In that, Pisces, anything to do with ocean, Capricorn is petrified wood or things like that. Or, somebody told me they are actually trying to find petrified whale poop, because it's cost a lot of money. So, I'm just coming up with crazy ideas over here, but it could be that as well, something petrified wood, or whale poop, and you can sell it for an amazing amount of money. But definitely there is, you can get a job, let go of something. If you worked in hospitals, and emotionally you are overwhelmed, you can have some kind of artsy things coming in on your own. You can become your own boss, self-employed, but also you can get actually a job in hospice, which is going to pay off well. And last but not least, my beautiful Pisceans, all right, it's going to happen in your 11th house. 11th house, anything to do with your hopes and wishes. It's money from your career as well, bonuses, and it could be also winning as well, right? Because 11th house is luck as well, but also it is something to do with your friendship zone and with your um, community. So this is like that's your tribe. So you're letting go of people who doesn't serve you anymore, who are very strict, who are very judgmental. You don't need that, especially with that trying to Virgo. And you feel like one-on-one relationship, one by one, you're gonna snip it, and it's done. You don't want that anymore. You want to grow. You want to go through Piscean experience. So you want to be compassionate, artsy, dancing and listening music, and you don't want to listen complain anymore. It could also relate something to do with maybe like you didn't get enough recognition, support from a significant other, and right now you want to change the relationship. Maybe your significant other doesn't want to go out, or things like that, and you are like, what, the moon in the 11 shining light, full moon, I went to go to events, VIP, events, and mingle with people who are structured, who has connections, maybe to government or things like that. And you might gonna go by yourself, so you're not gonna be codependent anymore, and you're just capable to take on to your own power and action and just go on your own. But definitely it could get rid of friendship zones as well, right? And even it could let go of, like marriage as well, especially if you are in your third marriage. You just say, I'm done over here, and I don't want to get married anymore, and I don't want to have another marriage here. But definitely it's a spiritual connection for you, and a spiritual growth over here. Your own human evolution is on track. All right, guys, so I didn't do uh, what is that meditation right now, because my children are home, they are going in and out. So obviously, I don't want to be bothered by Cosmo barking, things like that. But I decided, I have my friend Fanny, who is actually worked in Hungary in the opera, and she's like a genius, right? And she's going to create the music for me for my meditations. And I'm going to create like 6 to 8 new moon and full moon meditation. And I'm just going to attach that for each lunation next year, because I'm already working ahead. So you can have a lot of things uploaded in time, and I don't have to. So I'm working ahead right now. And you will be able to have music. She creates beautiful music. And I'm truly happy you are here. Just tell me your opinion. You want to see the chart? Don't want to see the chart. Do you want to see the house around? I'm walking around, and I mean showing every part of the house, and with different, background over there or not. So what is really important? Because, sometimes you are listening me only, and sometimes you want to see something. But or what do you want to talk about? Do you want me to actually mention countries? But if I mention countries, then you have to help me to promote me, because as I said, there is like, oh my God, that is a lot of censorship toward to me, unfortunately. Let me put that in big window over here. Okay, so as I said, I truly appreciate you. All my regulars, I see you. I really, really value your opinion. I value to be there for me. And I understand other YouTube channels doesn't allow my website sometimes and my things, but just keep promote me, for example, on Facebook or Instagram, TikTok. I'm very mad at TikTok, because whenever I open it up, it's something just comes in and load, and the music, and I don't know how to handle it, and I have no absolutely zero patience. And because of that, I'm not doing anything on TikTok, but I'm gonna hire someone who can put like shorts on it, and then it's gonna drive everybody to my YouTube channel. But if you do so, I really appreciate that, guys. As I said before, I have all my 12 houses, and right now I'm doing the videos for 2026. If I see someone, for example, to help me to be in, because with Ian we are playing actually games, and then you're going to get gift from us, or books, or predictions ahead. I'm willing to give if I'm promoted. I'm really happy for that. Thank you so much. I'm coming up with South Node Mars, and also I'm gonna do today Uranus in Gemini again, because there is a lot more I want to talk about, which is already came through some things what I saw, and that's why I want to keep talking about that. And the I'm going to go with the Forever After Forest series also. So right now you're going to listen me and Ian about the psychic abilities, and I'm going to see you soon. Bye for now.